One of the questions I get all the time is why screen for ACEs? Folks wonder, ACEs happened in the past. What can we do about it now? Or others have concern that ACE screening is deficit-based, or worse, that it could be stigmatizing. Well, there are three critical reasons for primary care providers to be screening for ACEs. The first is to identify which patients are at high risk of having a toxic stress physiology so that we can treat it. We understand that ACEs increase the risk for more than 40 health conditions over the lifetime. And the science shows that one key mechanism by which this happens is a prolonged activation of the biological stress response that leads to changes in brain development, the immune system, the hormonal system, and even the way DNA is read and transcribed. And this is what we now know as the toxic stress response. ACE screening is the most evidence-based way of identifying which patients may be experiencing a toxic stress physiology. And the good news is that toxic stress is treatable. There are evidence-based interventions that are associated with decreasing stress hormones, improving regulation of the stress system, improving neuroplasticity, and even improvements in the way our DNA is read and transcribed. So treating toxic stress is a critical addition to usual care for patients who have experienced ACEs. The second key reason is because all of the data shows us that early detection and early intervention improves outcomes. When we look at outcomes right now, particularly mental and behavioral health outcomes associated with early adversity, we see that they oftentimes are more challenging to treat. Part of the reason is because we're discovering the process so late. When we look at something like breast cancer, the 5-year survival for stage 4 breast cancer is around 32%. But when we look at the 5-year survival for stage 1 breast cancer, we see that it's greater than 99%. Just like many other health conditions, early detection and early intervention is a critical piece of driving towards better outcomes. But in order to identify at stage 1, we have to screen because there aren't outward signs. ACE screening is the most evidence-based way to identify which patients may be at high risk of developing long-term health risks because of toxic stress. So early detection and intervention, critically important. The third piece is we recognize that in places like California, patients can get actually access to care based on their ACE score. So in California and in North Carolina, the result of the ACE score opens up eligibility to services. Right now in California, a child with 4 more ACEs can get access to wraparound services with no other qualifying symptomatology. So they don't have to have a mental health disorder. They don't have to have a substance dependence. They don't have to otherwise be harmed. They can qualify on the basis of risk. So we see that ACE screening is opening up eligibility for patients to get access to care.